What's going on, YouTube? Back at you with another video. All right, guys, we got the new setup. You see, still experimenting. We'll figure out the ideal setup. But yeah, guys. So today, I wanted to talk about the piece that really comes from this journey. A lot of people really aren't gonna get it until you're very deep in the journey, and this is why. As someone, it's only been, this is my 9th week into the cut, but now like on everything, I'm like, yeah, everyone's got to get lean, because the awareness and peace that comes when you start taking nutrition seriously, it's so hard to explain. Not even that, just your awareness for all things. And it's crazy because I was talking to a good friend about this, but I find now I've accepted things as they are. And one of the biggest, I was watching this video, they're kind of just talking about how, oh, you shouldn't cold approach, you should warm approach, and I agree with that intuitively now too, because you don't want to chase, you want to attract. Because if you were to get those things, you wouldn't chase after it, because in your mind, you would have the state being like, I already have these things, so you wouldn't be chasing after it. But among that and just the whole female nature, and it's crazy as someone that's so science-based, it's crazy how it just clicked in my mind, like, yeah, literally once a month, they have their period, the hormones go to shit, so that instability leads to mood swings and all those things. That's normal. But dudes, we don't have that problem. You got the high test levels, your emotional stability stays like this. It was just a lot of things in that video that I feel like, oh, okay, like I've heard it before, but it just clicked in my brain for some reason. But you have to just become aware enough, and you're gonna do that by really taking the self-improvement journey seriously, but also really not messing around, with gluttony, with lust, really understanding like how deadly those things are, and then deciding to have mastery over those things. Because a lot of people, we want to put, the millions of dollars, we want that to come before the mastery of self, the mastery of gluttony over lust. It's like you can't skip that step, but you also know that those thoughts come from the instant gratification, mindset, which we understand now is very, very, very detrimental to your improvement and to your growth, because you have to recognize it's going to take a long period of time. I'll say it again, it's going to take a very long period of time, and that's okay. It's actually, there's peace that comes in, oh, it's going to take a long time. You don't have to have it all figured out now. That's why the mindset shift is so important, because once you recognize, oh, it's going to take years, okay, great. So I better start now, but I know I got to compound my inputs over years, and then you'll get the desired outcome. So when you just focus on the inputs and you detach from the outcome, there's a peace, there's this inner peace that comes with it. And in other aspects too, I find, at work, and even when you have these thoughts, you think, oh, okay, they're not like me, and that's okay. But another thing too is you're gonna really start viewing people as they are. Because for me, it was always, oh, I want this chick or I want this girl to be this way. You go from, okay, you want that girl, right? But she doesn't work out. She's not like you, but you're hoping if she's around you enough, she's gonna end up like you. No. You gotta shut that shit down. That was the trap I fell for. No, you need to go after people that are already working out, already meal prepping. Those are the chicks you want. You don't wanna help someone develop an identity. You don't wanna view them off of potential. You gotta view them as they are. That's why being present is so important, and having the awareness. Because now for me, it's easy. Okay, you say you work out, okay. Well, one, I can look at you, but two, okay, do you track your lifts? Or you hit your protein goal? Do you meal prep? It's a lot of ways to tell if someone's LARPing or if they're really about this shit, And once you can see it, it becomes effortless. But now you're not gonna be mad when they're like, oh, they didn't go out today. Oh, they didn't work out today. Like, oh, okay. You kind of expect it because, okay, yeah, their actions don't really reflect, and they don't really look like someone that works out. So now that desire or that potential, you don't really care about that. You're just viewing them as they are. And this is just one of the main things I've just come to terms with on that spiritual journey of getting lean. And it's so much more than just, because I can always explain it to science. Like, yeah, okay, you're getting leaner. So there's less, testosterone is going to convert to estrogen, you have more DHT, more all that stuff. But spiritually, it's just, you have higher standards. Higher standards are going to reflect in just higher test levels. So lower body fat, more peak mental clarity, which is going to allow you to have these thoughts and have this awareness. And that's what I'm starting to see too. Like the physical and the spiritual. I'm starting to see both angles of it too. Literally, it's really crazy. But that's what I'm always saying. Like you got to really take the journey serious, and don't downplay it. Because as soon as you downplay it, your ego is gonna get the best of you. Oh, it's not that deep. Oh, I can have that cheat meal one time. It's fine. And those are the things that are gonna hold you back. Because I'm only at this awareness now because I was like, you know what? No more cheat meals. Let me just actually eat the foods I was designed to eat, and let me do that going forward. There's no more. I ate good for 2 weeks, so now let me get some Chick-fil-A to reward myself. Like it doesn't make sense because I'm eating good foods. I get rewarded for eating these foods. Why would I deviate from that and eat poison? It's like that doesn't make sense. So I'm not gonna do that. Because I know a lot of you listening. It's like you'll eat 7 days clean, and you're like, the 8th day, like, I deserve it. Like let me, because that's another thing too. You'll get to the point where, okay, if you really want a cookie, you can either make them from scratch, or you can find, I don't know if you guys have like Sprouts where you live, but Sprouts or Whole Foods, you can find like better quality foods that are the same foods you eat. Like if you like Doritos, there's something called Masa chips. There's so much options. You just have to have this genuine curiosity and desire to really better your health, and you're gonna find all the food you like. You're gonna find a much better healthy alternative. Literally, you just gotta put in some work. Like me, I used to love ice cream. I'm gonna put you guys on. It's called Ice Cream for Bears. Or if you have a farmer, go to the farmer's market. Get you some raw ice cream. Story for another day. If raw scares you, it's fine. I get it. I was that way too, but it's a literal superfood. Yeah, Ice Cream for Bears. That's like one of the best ice cream brands. Clean ingredients. And that's another thing too. It's what's kind of led me to I'm not gonna call it a new diet. It's basically just, you learn about certain things, you take your experience, you take how you feel, and you add upon it, and then you based off your routine and your goals, you eat certain foods. But dairy is just an actual superfood. And if you're someone that works out, there's actually so much benefits to dairy. Because there's no way you're getting adequate potassium, adequate phosphorus. It has IGF-1. It's got so much thing. Like milk is an actual superfood. So this is your sign to spam dairy. It's not gonna make you fat. Quite the opposite, literally. So don't worry. Have your dairy. It's fine. Because that's another thing too I've learned too lately. See, with your diet, you want to get to the point where, your thyroid works and your cortisol is lower. That way, your body becomes this fat burning machine. That's why it's important you work out, get your steps in, but then eat the right foods. So, test is higher. The thyroid works properly, so it can be very efficient, speed up your metabolism to make it so you could literally eat. Now, unless people say like 4,000 or 5,000 calories, they're probably overshooting by 2,000. That's fine. You can eat a good amount of food. It's not gonna get stored as fat because you're either lean or you got a very good metabolism. Like there's a lot that goes into this nutrition stuff, but that's why you gotta really get the journey your all. Because for me, I've been eating the way I am now. It was last year March. That's when I started. So yeah, literally March of next year. It'd be 2 years. But the first year was like preparation because you're eating better foods, but then you're not tracking. So you'll find it's very easy to overeat on butter and foods like even eggs. I was eating like 10, 12 eggs a day. Man, but in hindsight, I was like, okay, I was eating a little too much. And I was working out, yeah, but I was eating too much food because that's all you have to track. Like you need the awareness. And for me, I don't know if it's SR, tracking, alignment, maybe it's a combination of all these things, but me just tracking my food, it's just made me aware about so much other things. That's what I was talking about female nature earlier, because now I'm like, that makes sense. And it's even more basic stuff, like don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. And you guys know about the whole black pill, the red pill. Really, those pills, it's not that they do exist, but it's really just exposing like human nature, female nature, or whatever. But my thing is like, okay, these are the rules of the game. This is the nature of women, people. So you just have to work with it. That's all you can really do. You can hate, you can cope, or you can, okay, all right, what are my advantages? Let me abuse those, and then go from there. So I think about that one, like, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Just lock in, get lean, pull muscle, like vibrate so highly where you're gonna get those things as a consequence, too. Literally, that's how I view it now. That just makes a lot more sense. And this is why I'm like, you can't. And this is why I used to do too. I used to analyze people. Oh, they can pull any chick, but I'm like, if they can pull any chick, she's probably giving it up for basically anyone. And it's like, is it really worth it? But even that, it's just every chick, especially if you're listening to this and you got a crazy body count or you're always interacting with chicks. I just want you to ask yourself, okay, am I getting closer to my purpose? Like, am I serving other people by it? And the answer is likely going to be no. It should be no. Because this is what Nikola Tesla, Isaac Newton, all these scientists stuff, they kind of talked about transmuting that sexual energy. Because this awareness, the mental clarity, your sleep's going to be better. Like, sometimes I actually feel like the Winter Soldier, and it's only the beginning. Literally. Like, you don't need caffeine. You can get adequate sleep. Your tolerance of stress is so much higher. And that's the thing too. You're not depressed. You don't have anxiety. You're just not eating right. So your body's not producing the hormones and the right amounts and all this stuff that's needed to tolerate, the problems of the world. Because as soon as you eat right, yeah, you're still gonna go through things, but now you're gonna be able to actually deal with it. And this is why a lot of people, like if someone says you're acting feminine, like it's not really. You shouldn't take it as an insult. It's just literally saying like you're quite literally letting your emotions, control your actions. You want to be very stable where it's like whatever is thrown at you, you can still, go back to logic, follow your systems. It's not saying you can't cry, but some dudes are just genuinely very emotional. And that's what I was talking about earlier, female nature, because it's like, okay, that's how they are. You can't attack them or you can't be mad for them following their nature. It doesn't make sense. That's from like, there's a peace that comes with that. And they can't take that from you because it makes you actually unshakable. Because now you're like, okay, that makes sense. They say one thing, do the other thing, but that's really the nature. And that's fine, I remember in the video, we said like, oh, they might love you now, and then 10 years down the line, they won't love you anymore. And I'm like, that makes sense. I'm like, it also makes sense why divorce rates are usually initiated by women. It just, like, it always made sense, right? Like, you have the data, but now it's just, like, on an intuitive, like, spiritual level, but it's, like, basic understanding of, some human psychology and, like, nature. Like, okay, that actually makes perfect sense. It's really basic stuff. But the thing is, you have to have the awareness to like understand. Then you have to like go through it. Like you got to see people change, right? Like you gotta go from your job, fired. Someone's got to cheat on you. Someone's got to betray you. Like you have to go through these things in order for all this to make sense. Like intuitively, Like it doesn't have to be like a lover. It could be a friend, someone you called family, like literally. But the betrayal, it just allows you to start seeing stuff. Then you become very objective because when you look back, you're like, there were plenty of signs. And this, I'll tell you guys, like, be careful because on the self-improvement journey, there's gonna be a lot of people that be like, oh, I get you. Don't listen to what they're telling you. Watch what they're doing. Do they work out? Everyone's got Instagram on their story. Are they posting working out? You're just gonna pick up on these things. And then when you really start to do that, you're gonna see, okay, they're just a LARPer. And that's cool. You're not gonna attack them. Just like, okay. Like, okay, they're just LARPing. But if you're listening to this video, you likely want other people that are like actually locked in, like actually doing these things, actually walking the 10K steps. Because what you're gonna recognize, the more you do this, you're gonna realize, wow, no one does it. You're gonna be like, wow, it's only literally me doing this. But you have to keep going regardless. Because you can use your work environment as a good example. Like I think of my coworkers, I'm like, damn, constant snacking, Starbucks cappuccino in the morning. And again, it's not an attack. If you think I'm attacking them, you're not really listening, you're not getting it, or you're just not there yet to understand. And that's okay. But you start to recognize, okay, people are gonna do ultimately what they want to do. So you have to you gotta find people that are doing the things that you want to do and literally align with what you want. That's it, really. That's what it boils down to ultimately, you know. So if your friends smoke and drink, yeah, there's nothing wrong with those things. But if you want to get lean, it's a conflict of identities. That's what a lot of people don't get. It's like you have to. There's no balance. Even though I would argue I'm in more balance now than ever. Even though externally or the people, if they're operating from the ego, they're like, oh, what the hell? He doesn't go out. He doesn't go out to eat. He goes to bed early, wakes up early, and it's like they're gonna think I'm out of balance. But no, I'm actually in balance because everything I do is with intent towards what I actually want. That's the goal. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I want this, I want that, I want to lose weight, but they're not. You're gonna watch them and like, okay, they go once a week, or they, you know, they eat clean one day and then 6 days out the week, you know, they're the big bad goofy foods, just consume them, destroy them. You know, it is what it is. But the more you embark on this journey, everything starts to click. And I'm like, it's so peaceful because you can see everything. You can see people for what they are, and it's not something I was always able to do. That's why I'm like, it's worth doing this journey for that long because you need this awareness. Because now you're not going to be jaded out the way. You're not going to be angry. You know, when people do things, you get hurt. You might be hurt in the moment, but then, and this is why I'm like, it's almost like, you know, your blood sugar, right? It's going to go up. Pancreas, ketosis, it's going to go right back down, you know? When that friend betrayed me, I was upset for maybe a week, but now I'm like, I'm good. Because it was preparation, you know, preparation for this awareness, you know? And even that too, it kind of reinforced that, okay, I'm making the right decisions. And this is why I'm like, your environment's important. Because for me, getting told like, okay, the more life that you get, your circle's gonna get smaller. People are gonna think, oh, you think you're better. And all those things have started to occur to me. And if you're listening and you embark this journey long enough, these same things will happen to you too. That's all I'm always saying. Maybe when you see Attack on Titan, the rumbling, that's gonna happen to your friend group. Literally, for me, since high school, let me think. I had 6 down to, so 6 people, yeah, and then 2 remain. So 4 just gone. That's like, well, almost 70%, but yeah. Not 80 like Aaron, but shit, close enough. If I factor in like other people, yeah, it's practically over 80%. But you know, it is what it is. Because ultimately, I just return back to peace. I'm like, okay, I know what I want. Because I'm like, I gotta see what's on the other side of this, you know, the awareness, the 300 days SR, you know, the getting lean, 8%, maintaining it, just how I feel, how I look. You know, curiosity alone and just knowing like, okay, if my standards get higher and higher, that's gonna give me the ability to solve, you know, all their problems in this current reality. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna keep doing this, you know, gotta keep moving forward, you know, on some Mary Yeager shit. So yeah, it's just, you gotta embark on the journey. If you haven't started, this is your sign now. Please embark on the journey. Because it's really worth it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really worth it. There's gonna be some ups and downs, but ultimately, you know, everything that happens to you is ultimately good, you know. The betrayal I went through, I was like, this was good because I made a friend I know for life through that whole altercation. You know, I lost some people, but you know, it made me, it reaffirmed like, hey, yeah, like whatever it takes, we're getting lean. Gotta keep moving forward. And you need that obsession. Well, it's not even an obsession, it's just standard. Because what you view as someone's obsessed is just knowing they're just maintaining their standard, you know, and that's from like the ego is just holding a lot of us back, right? But anyways, yeah, guys, stay locked in. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but stay locked in, stay blessed. If you made it this far in the video, comment your let's see, the question of the day is comment, what's the anime character you just can't stand? Yeah, let's do that. What's the character you just cannot stand? I can't think of someone top moment, but man, next video, if I remember, I'll answer it. But yeah, guys, stay locked in. And remember, guys, if anyone needs any help with, you know, the workout plan, diet, links are below. Hit me up on Instagram. Happy to help you guys out. You know, kind of tell you about the framework, how I eat, what I eat on a daily basis, all that, of course. You know, that's you a DM. But yeah, guys, stay locked in. Stay blessed.